I don't know if you I don't know if you've been following this. Maybe not. I just realized how white this room is. I mean, it's pop culture. You probably heard about it. I mean, I don't know if you've been watching this whole Drake and Kendrick. My. What a time to be alive. Okay. All right, so Drake and Kendrick, they are rappers, sir. They're rappers. Okay, I want to make sure everybody, and I'm not acting like I know. You might bump Kendrick all the time. You might be a big Pimp a Butterfly fan. You know, I'm just checking. So, Drake and Kendrick's relationship actually goes back way further than people realize, because Drake brought Kendrick with him on tour when Kendrick was like just starting to pop, but Drake was already a big deal, right? And it seemed like they were cool. You see these old interviews, they're in pictures together, they have such nice things to say about each other, and then along the line, something changed. Something happened. And we don't know what that thing is really, but they both started to kind of like go at each other in small ways. And some people take it all the way back to the Control verse. Kendrick did a verse in a song on, it was actually a Big Sean song. Big Sean is a rapper, sir. I just want to, all of these are just names, and I want to make sure that we're all up to speed. So he did a verse on a Big Sean song called Control, but it blew up so much it became Kendrick's verse. It became the Control verse, which is crazy. And in that verse, he went at everybody. He called people out by name, you know? And he said, I got love for you all, but I'm trying to murder you. I'm trying to make sure that your fans don't even love you anymore. They love me so much. I'm coming for the crown. I'm coming for everything, right? And just about everybody thought that it was actually pretty dope. It was actually like, okay, hip hop as a sport, like hip hop as, you know, a fun thing, a contest to see who's actually the best, because everybody calls themselves the best on every song. Eventually, someone has to be the best. You know, every rapper believes that they're the best, and they say so in their music. A lot like how one city will have several First Baptist churches. When you look around, you're like, one of y'all has to actually be first, right? How can y'all even all claim to be first? This is confusing. You know? And so he releases the Control verse. Now, this is something, maybe this is where it started. It's where a lot of people say it started, but maybe it was something else. But Drake seemed to take some sort of issue with the love that Kendrick was getting for that verse, with him being called out, even though he's someone that helped, you know, Kendrick out in the beginning. But even in interviews, Kendrick explained himself. He said, like, this is a contest to see who's the best. It's all love, right? But Drake has, I'm trying to be fair. Drake has a lot of feelings, and you can tell because he has a lot of albums. And there are feelings on every one of those albums. And some people don't have several albums worth of feelings. Some people only have 4 or 5 albums worth of feelings, you know? And some people decide when to let it out, and he just lets it out on a pretty tight schedule, a pretty regimented schedule of release to let out all of his feelings, you know? And he said, he's like, I just didn't like it. It didn't feel sincere. I just didn't vibe with the whole thing. Because then I saw him later, and he was all nice to me. Yeah. He said in his interview, it was all love. It's just a contest. And then from there, they had like a weirdness. And then there's like little things. You can listen to certain songs where Drake seems to be like digging right at Kendrick, but in a way where you have to really look at it and wonder, right? Not saying his name. And then Kendrick, even does a little bit of the same. But even after a little bit of this had kicked off, they still worked together one or two more times, right? Because Drake was on Good Kid, Mad City, Kendrick's album, and Kendrick was on Take Care. So there's still at least a professional relationship there to some degree, right? Fast forward a few years and Drake's really big. And when I say really big, he's like what Bad Bunny is now, he was back then, like top in the world, right? Everybody wanted to be Drake. Everybody wanted to sing a little bit of Drake. He was #1 on Spotify. Every time he released, it was a big deal. And so some people, admittedly, were very jealous of Drake. You know, there were people who started to go at Drake a little bit. And Drake is a good writer. He may have writers that he works with. He may have... But he's also good. It's like when he's making music, everyone in the room is good. I'm trying to give him his I'm trying to be objective, and y'all are trying to lean me into way that's... But he's good, and so, you know, Meek Mill is a rapper. Sorry, Meek Mill. Because that one wasn't a name. I just want to make sure that at no point you don't think that this is like punctuation or anything. Because the names are going to get weirder as I go, right? Okay. Meek Mill came at Drake, and Drake really, truly, even if you hate Drake, Drake destroyed Meek Mill. He destroyed Meek Mill so bad that Meek Mill had to go back to jail just to level out some of that street cred. Because if you remember, Meek Mill went back to jail for a while on like this weird aspect of probation that they even tried to get changed as a law. So then Meek Mill became this like face of changing incarceration and changing the criminal justice system and everything, because he had to do something else for a little while because Drake really ate him up, all right? And so more time passes, and there's still not much between Kendrick and Drake in this moment, right? And then Drake gets into it. And I want to be clear, because a lot of people sometimes feel bad for Drake in a way that I want to be clear. He does start a lot of this stuff. He does like have a little thing in a song that implies that your wife is unfaithful, and then when you come at him directly, he's like, what's with all the hate? I'm all love. It's like, no. The best way I can describe it is that Drake kind of fights like a cat. And some rappers fight like dogs. And so, you know, he'll do a little paw and he'll be like, what's the issue? And so Drake went at Pusha T, which was a true mistake. This is the thing about people like Pusha T, right? You don't want to mess with anyone who's actually had a hard life. You know, like, you know, Drake grew up in Canada, grew up with, like, it's just, this is my thing. A lot of people come at Drake for, you know, they come in a way I don't like. They come at him in this like colorism way where he's like, you're not really black because you're half white. I don't roll with any of that. I just truly think, but you see what I'm talking about. I'm not, y'all are trying to get me to do something I'm not doing. I'm just saying it's very hard for a rapper to seem hard, right? When they have not been through what other rappers have been through. Like, it's hard to go hard when everybody knows you had health care. Because I'm not saying there aren't hardened criminals in Canada. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that if somebody knows that anytime you were sick, you could call a doctor. It just takes a little bit of the wind out of the sails of like, I'll kill you. It's like, yeah, but if I hurt you, you go to a doctor immediately. Like, so anyway, Kendrick is still off doing his thing, releasing amazing music, but Drake gets into it with Pusha T, which was a mistake because he told Pusha T, he's like, I got more money than you, I got more women than you, I'm more famous than you'll ever be. And then Pusha T said, you have a son. He released the fact that Drake had a son, which people didn't know, on a track that's cover was Drake in blackface. Everything about what Pusha T did to Drake is why you don't get involved with people like Pusha T. You're you know, a part of me felt bad for Drake. Drake was probably like John at the mouth and everything and didn't know he'd do research. It's like, you know, Drake is sitting there like, guys, I thought we were rhyming. I thought we were making music. What is this? And so anyway, now Drake perceivably takes care of his son. And, you know, whatever. And so fast forward some more, and you would think that Drake had sort of learned his lesson of like, man, I shouldn't throw stones when I might have a lot of kids. And for his part, I will say this, for his part, every time somebody comes at Drake, he does come at them pretty hard, pretty heavy. And he does release music that his fans love, and there are a lot of his fans. I'm saying that's something that I thought about going into this thing, where I was like, he always does really try to like give you something, but what he gives is twofold. Drake is usually trying to give you that sort of earworm, trying to give you that thing that takes you to a place beyond the beef. So now people will still play back to back and songs that were responses to beefs he's had in the past, just as songs to enjoy, you know? And so this year, Drake and J. Cole started, you know, they started doing appearances together. Like J. Cole would pop up at Drake's concert. And J. Cole is also someone who I genuinely believe is one of the most talented, phenomenal, musically inclined artists that I've encountered. I really enjoy his music. I don't know him as a person, and I think he's amazing, right? So he is on a couple of Drake songs after they appeared together last year, and it made me listen to those songs. I was like, oh, J. Cole, okay, you know, because I admittedly I hadn't listened to Drake in a long time because I only have a certain amount of feelings. I feel like I got pretty far. I feel like I listened to several albums, and then at a certain point I was like, I feel grown, like. You know? And anyway, they do a song together, and then they do a song called First Person Shooter. And in First Person Shooter, they're going back and forth about how great the era is and how great they are. And First Person Shooter is a fantastic song, right? And then J. Cole in the song says, you'll forgive me if I'm getting it wrong, but he says, maybe something like we're the top top two, three, okay. And then he was like, is it Kendrick, is it Aubrey, or me? Because we're the big three, like we started the league. But right now I feel like Muhammad Ali, right? And I guess Kendrick heard that and took it as a personal affront. I wouldn't have felt that like if two people were like, man, we're the best ever, and Josh is great too, and I wasn't even there, I would be like, oh, thanks. But I'm not built like Kendrick. You know? And so then later we would also find out that apparently Drake tried to get Kendrick on that track. So he knew it was coming up and he didn't want any part of it. And then I guess he hated that he was mentioned. So then Metro Boomin and Future are rappers that... Because that could have been a label name. I'm not making fun of you at all. I'm just making sure everybody is up to speed. And you're right in front of me. That's all that's happening, right? So Metro Boomin and Future, they release an album called We Don't Trust You, and on it is a track called Like That. Now, Like That is where Kendrick does essentially the control effect on this song. He does a verse that really made me forget it was a song. I don't know what anyone else said on the song, right? And on the song, he says, "Fuck the big three, it's just big me," right? Which is also, hey, I've always said I want to be the best. I've said it from day one. As soon as people started interviewing me, I said I want to be the best. As soon as people started listening to my music, I said I wanted to be the best. This is not out of character for me. This is the same thing I did 10 years ago, right? So just for me, if it were me, if I was one of them, if I was Drake and I heard "Fuck the big three, it's just big me," I also wouldn't take it as a personal affront. Because there were other things in the song where he came at Drake specifically. He didn't really have much for J. Cole. And yeah, it just sat for a while. It sat, and everybody was like, ooh, what are Drake and Cole gonna do? And then Cole was actually, I think, the first one to release. He released this song that he's since taken down called 7 Minute Drill, and he went at Kendrick in the song. And then he took it down, and a lot of people clowned him for it, but it's something that even, I'm not being a revisionist here. I said this when it happened. I was like, I respect the fact that he took it down. Because it's not something he really wanted to do. And the internet is all gas, no brakes. The internet will get you to mess up your life. Do you know what I mean? People you don't know are like, I wouldn't take that if I was you. What you gonna do? Huh? Do something, huh? Huh? People who are very safe at home, I wouldn't, if I was you, ooh, I'd go at his neck. I'd eat him alive if I was you. Do something, Jermaine, do it. Do it. And so he took it down, and he even said, he's like, I didn't feel like doing it, so it's not even good. I kind of just went at him a little bit, and it's true. In the song, he doesn't even say anything that bad. He's just like, one of your albums was boring. I won't even say which one. And then he took it down because he said, I don't know, this felt corny. And I respected the hell out of that. Very few men, grown men, famous men, powerful men, very few ever apologize. Very few ever apologize without being made to, with the threat of losing their money, losing their fame, losing something. Very few men. So I respect that. And people clowned him to no end. But then the actual beef between Drake and Kendrick started. And that was a lot. Because Drake released a song called Push Ups, and he didn't just go at Kendrick, he went at a bunch of people and, implied that Kendrick's wife was unfaithful, that his son might not be his and everything. And people are like, ooh, what's Kendrick gonna do? What's gonna happen, right? And then, he releases another song, and this song is AI. This song is Drake with the late Tupac and Snoop Dogg, and it's going at Kendrick. And some people had their feelings about that. But then, oof. On a random morning, I was, it was right about the time I was supposed to say my prayers anyway. Your morning prayers? Your thank your God for waking me up this morning, right? And Kendrick dropped a song called Euphoria. And I think when it happened, a lot of people, including me, was like, oh, this is an actual rap beef now in the way that we had in the 90s. These dudes do not like each other. And Kendrick says he hates him in the song. He says, I hate you. He said it a lot. He said, I hate you a lot. He did artistically, but he was like, ooh, I hate you. Ooh. Ooh, I hate you. Ooh, right? And, woof. It was a lot, right? And then And then, Drake released. Actually, no, Kendrick released one. He released so many, I actually lost count. So then he released a song that I didn't even get to fully digest because he released, and then Drake released his response. And this was like what Drake had been waiting for. This was like all these, in my opinion, all these years of like, I was nice to you, and then you came at everybody, including me, and all I'm doing is writing my feelings down in albums and making money. And I just want to be number one. I just want to be the best with feelings. I want to be the best. And so he just took everything that he had, and he put it in a song called Family Matters, right? And 20 minutes later, Kendrick released a song called Meet the Grams, which was a real play off Family Matters. And he had said in 616 before, he was like, have you ever thought about the fact that like people in your camp are working for me, that everyone hates you so much they feed me information about you, and that there's no way that you're going to win this because I write so many songs, because all I do is hang out with my wife and my kids and I write, right? This is all that I do. I enjoy this. This is my favorite thing to do, is just sit at home and hate you and write songs about you and how much I hate you, so I can go forever. This will never be over. We can chill. We can just go back and forth, and I'll release 20 for every one that you release. You keep saying that it's a 1v20, and it is. It's one of you, and it's 20 songs of me every single day until the both of us die. This is old black man hate. You got to understand, this doesn't happen. This doesn't happen with people under 60 almost ever. This is old. We knew each other during the civil rights movement hate that he brought to this battle. And Drake was like, guys, I thought we were rhyming. And in Meet the Grams, he laid it down. He started the song by talking to Drake's son. Talking to Drake's son, being like, I'm sorry that's your father. Genuinely, I'm sorry that's your father, because I can tell he's not raising you well, because I can tell he's not living a good life and he's not a decent man, okay? And so if you don't understand this right now because you're 6, play it back when you're 18, okay? He said lots of things. He said things that are illegal. He said Drake was doing things that, you can listen to it. Woof. He even had this effect in the song. At the end of the song, when he's like, you lied, he called him a liar several times, and he's like, you lied. I was like, oh, that's too much. And he tells him about himself. He talks to his son, he talks to his dad, he talks to his mom, and then he talks to him directly, right? He also talks to, potentially, a daughter that Drake is not taking care of. Which I was listening to, I was like, not again. I feel like once they find the first kid, you gotta just get all the kids. You gotta just have a whole Graham family, just so you know where everybody is. And people go back and forth. Does he have a daughter? Does he not have a daughter? Some people think they've even found the daughter, everything like that. And I don't know. It's really bad. It's so bad. And honestly, I never wanted to get to a bad place. This is something, I'll talk about this more in the future and everything, but I have a deep love, but a strange relationship with hip hop, because if everything is in music, it's all good. It's when things leave music that things get bad, And so as much as I joke about Drake and I like Kendrick and I've liked some of Drake's songs, I don't actually want them to do anything to each other. You know what I mean? Now, if what Kendrick is saying about Drake is true, we should lock Drake up. We should lock Drake up. And if what Drake is saying about Kendrick is true, we should lock Kendrick up, all right? Because, it's a rap battle, two dudes that hate each other. Maybe they're lying, who knows? But I'm just saying, this thing, I didn't want to see anything bad happen to either one of them. But when Meet the Grams got released, I don't know what Drake thinks, and I don't know what his life is like, especially right now. But I think back to those battles and those beefs in the 90s, and I wonder if Drake wasn't like, I'd like to be shot, please. Like if you could just plug me one time and then we can smooth the thing over. Because then, as if Meet the Grams wasn't enough, Kendrick released a song called Not Like Us, which is the catchiest way to call somebody a I've ever heard in my life. You be dancing to it forgetting what the song is about. Like, you know. And then Drake released The Heart Part 6. And I think that's when he lost. I think, because in The Heart Part 6, he's like, this was all part of my plan. We fed you information about me for you to say, so everything that you said is wrong. And don't you feel dumb now that I tricked you? And it just kind of felt like, like what a kid, okay, like when you play rock, paper, scissors, and you do rock. And the other kid does scissors, and you're like, and they're like, no, actually, these are lasers. Ba-pow, 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 ba-pow. Because I was like, Drake, if it was part of your plan to feed Kendrick information about you for him to rap about very well, by the way, like even if those are lies, they do sound good and they sound very true. Even if you fed him all this information about you to rap about, to then look dumb when it was wrong, why'd you send him that stuff? That's the worst stuff you could send somebody. Hey, tell him this thing about me that's not true but was true once, and tell him I'm a thing that no one wants to be. So now that it's over, because I do hope it's over, I feel like Drake should just release some songs about some feelings. Welcome to the Josh Johnson Show. I'm Josh Johnson, joined by my co-host, fellow stand-up comedian Logan Nielsen. Logan, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right, man. How are you?
I am getting a call, so I'm not doing great. 1 second. 1 second. I'm here again. I'm back. Doing great. How are you?
Doing great. Everything's fine. I'm doing all right, man. I think we're about to get some nasty weather here in Iowa. Have you guys been getting hit with anything yet? Not to open with weather talk, but
I mean, it's only nasty if you're not freaky. You know what I mean? Like this is good.
Nope. I hate what you just said.
Nah, like this is just good weather for like if you cuddled up with somebody and like, oh no, we can't leave, maybe we should.
Only nasty if you're not freaky.
Yeah, like maybe we shouldn't leave. Maybe it's nice being warm together,
It's a real baby. It's cold outside situation.
Not really, because you live together in this scenario. This isn't a visitor. That baby, it's cold outside.
Wait, sorry. Are you role playing as me talking to Jess right now?
No, I'm role playing as anybody talking to anybody that lives with anybody.
Okay, because for a second I thought it was.
No, that'd be weird. Baby, don't go out and save lives tonight. Like that'd be wild. No. I'm.
They really need me at the hospital. Nah, girl, come on. The fire is warm. She's like, we don't have a fireplace. Where did you start a fire?
Hey, you know who needs reviving?
This dick.
Well, it takes all the mystery out of it when you say it.
I know. I regret saying it, but it was also funny to me. Well, hey, man.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Yeah.
Merry Christmas. Yeah, it's holiday season, and you want to do a little holiday mailbag?
We are. We're going to be doing a
little Santa
holiday
sack of emails?
Mailbag, a full-on Santa sack of emails. But also, can you do the thing that you've done before where, like, we'll take turns reading them? So just, like,
shoot me anything that you want me to read.
I figure I can do that, or since we're not like really doing video, I can probably just screen share the emails with you.
Yeah,
you can just
that
read
sounds
them.
good.
I think we might do it that way.
Yeah, so we wanted to give back in the form of giving you what you gave us. You know, it's a real regifting of the holiday. You were kind enough to send things in, so we want to read them. We want to share our thoughts on the things that you think with us, with you.
Yeah. Now, when you put it that way, it does sound shitty because basically,
What do you mean?
the gift we're giving, is just announcing what people have given us, and we're like, "You're welcome. We gave it back."
No. But it's like, imagine if somebody gave you a gift and you could add to it. So if I gave you a car and then you got it detailed, it'd be an even better car.
But then saying it's a gift to you because I got my car detailed.
It is. You're giving me a car back? Thank you, brother.
Oh, see, now
Appreciate
that's
you.
what I'm saying. Is you're saying
Yeah.
that's where the communication wasn't lined up because I wasn't giving it back.
Mm-hmm.
I was sending you a picture of it detailed, being like, "Merry Christmas, buddy."
You would do that. That's exactly who you are as a person. So yeah, let's get into it. You know, if you want to take the first one.
Yeah, I'll take the first one. I'll go ahead and screen share with you right now so we can both see them as we go
Yeah,
here.
let's
maybe.
let's get weird. Let's get freaky with it.
Let's get weird. Let's get freaky. Baby, it's cold outside. Which one do we want to start with here? You know, I'll start with this one because I've had a couple people mention this to me. But this is from Kiera, and the title is Subreddit for Tiny Town and Squirrels. Now, changing it to Tiny Town instead of Toontown kind of goes, and then Squirrels. So this is an abstract change to both of our nicknames from Toontown and Squeaks to Tiny Town and Squirrels, which I don't hate actually.
Yeah, I mean, if you'll remember, it actually sounds like our Bizarro forms. Like, like it sounds like there's going to be like just a more extreme version of each of us running around that is Tiny Town and Squirrels. Like Squirrels like actually like needs to get LASIK. Like actually cannot really see. And then Tiny Town is got like a weird like bone fusion going on where his knees are just like real low to the ground. You know what I mean? Like he still
Right.
walks, but as far as a shin,
barely.
his shin is the size of a hand. Like we're talking like knee feet, right?
That's like a Hank Hill's dad from King of the Hill, where he doesn't
really?
have. Yeah, his shins were blown off in Korea, so they just grafted his feet to his knees. So he just has
no, I'm not
straight,
talking about
short
that
legs.
though. No,
Right.
he still has a little bit of shin.
Oh, still a little bit of shin. Okay.
Yeah, but just enough to look cartoonish.
Squirrels, I was just thinking it's literally like just clothing filled with squirrels masquerading as a man. Just
And for the voice box, it's just screams. It's just like
they got a little keyboard in there, but there's too many little paws, so they're just typing nonsense. Just 7.
yeah, that makes sense to me. That's
We've
what
really
it feels like.
this year the listeners have really created. We've gone beyond the JJU, the Josh Johnson universe, and now we've established the Josh Johnson multiverse. Because now there's Toontowns and Squeaks, there's Tiny Town and Squirrels, there's the Punisher and Iceman, or Man with Ice Powers who hates puns. Like now there's a whole action figure line of the two of us.
There's a lot more going on. I'll admit. I think that some of it is good and some of it has been counterproductive. Like I think that there are some things within.
Some of it has been What has been counterproductive?
I don't know if the bathroom detective should actually like stay in the universe. I think that like I enjoy it, and we're gonna put out that that trilogy, but I also think like, is this who I am when I listen back to it? Like.
Well, I won't reveal too much, but I've been going through the tallies of people's favorite episodes, and I will say that character doesn't not make a showing. How about that? How about that for?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah. What we have become.
We have a lot of enablers out there.
Yeah. Incredible.
Anyway, sorry. Back to this email from Kiera. Subreddit for Tiny Town and Squirrels. Please, it's so late and like everything is fucking funny. So I typed the subject of the email, and of course autocorrect fucked up my words, but made me laugh. So I'm gonna keep it there. So okay, so Tiny Town and Squirrels was actually autocorrect. Hey J-Lo, I recently made a subreddit for the Josh Johnson Show on Reddit. I got tired of having no one to discuss the show with without sounding not like myself. I mean, I said sorry about your Brain King at a gathering, and the guys thought I was referring to an NFL game. So then they started asking me questions about football. All I wanted to do was drop a dope-ass line from the show, and it turned into me getting questioned about who plays for the insert any football name here, because most men are assholes who want to badger you for knowing anything. That does sound like us.
I mean, I'd like to dispute, but I have been around people my whole life.
That's the thing. I try my best to not be one of those people, but I know me trying to not be one of those people is because by default we are those people.
Yeah, I've tried really hard. I've definitely, you know what it's led me to though? Now I actually don't help people.
No, dude, that was when like mansplaining
really
was like
become a
talked
thing.
about a lot. I got to a point where I was like, I'm not explaining anything to anyone, even if they really want my help.
Yeah, it's like it's really not worth it. So I'm just
It's not worth now.
I mean, I'm sure that they'll figure it out.
Yeah. I tend to start with the question of just like, do you want me to tell you? I found just an easy way to avoid that.
As someone who had to leave someone who was stuck in a grate, I've stopped helping. Never want to be that guy.
Even the email says here, sorry, got sidetracked. Well, so did we. Back to Reddit. While I made the sub, I have no idea how to moderate a Reddit thread, nor do I want to. I think the J-Lo community, well, the J-Lo community, I think is something else.
Yeah, the J-Lo, what a mix-up that would be to get
would
like
be-
on
oh,
a Jennifer
man.
Lopez subreddit and then be like, man, y'all ever get your brain injured?
I'm not saying I want people to do that, but I also want people to do that. I think the J-Lo community has enough common sense to make the subreddit a living hell since we're not talking about anything outside of the show, and the show itself is far from problematic. Thank you. That being said, I'm hoping this email will be read on the show for the very reason of bringing the J-Lo community together to laugh at episodes, make inside jokes, and whatever else Redditors do in subreddits. Yeah, I don't understand what people do in subreddits, but I've had a few people send me this saying
Yeah.
like, hey, do you know there's a Reddit for you guys?
Yeah. So I would say that maybe, we can give it a shot. I can't make any promises just because of time constraints, but I would definitely be interested in giving it a shot at like hitting up the Reddit every once in a while with a question or you know what I mean?
maybe.
Like just something. That being said, I feel like a lot of our movements are like a Reddit thread to begin with. So
Right. And that's what I'm saying. I don't even know if like it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know if we'll get involved with it at all, but I wanted to give it a shout out if someone's trying to create a community for people to get together and talk about the show. I figured may as well shout it out.
Yeah.
They have a link here, reddit.com/The Josh Johnson Show. So I don't know. We're not in charge of it. We're not moderators, but like, I'm all about because we've had people email in trying to be like, hey, can you send me the email to this person that emailed in because they sound cool and I don't feel comfortable doing that.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like a setup. That sounds like
it sounds like it could either go great and make best friends or could be a nightmare.
Yeah.
So this might be a good way for people to voluntarily meet up.
Yeah. Wow.
But that's all. Thanks for keeping me quietly giggling in public spaces and occasionally scaring my coworkers in office with my loud, sudden laughter. P.S. If you have a favorite subreddit or Reddit type interaction, would love to hear about it. For me, it's the relationship Reddit posts where someone is sharing a minor situation between them and a partner, and people instantly jump to, he is such an abusive piece of shit, you need to live him, over something like, my husband didn't eat all his dinner. I hope people do yoga for reaches that far. All right, bye. Sorry I talked way too much, but yeah, Josh Johnson Show subreddit. Best, Kiera. Thank you for that, Kiera.
Thank you so much, Kiera. That means a lot. We appreciate you, and thank you for starting the subreddit. This could be the beginning of something really beautiful or really terrible. You know,
yeah. And again, we make no promises that we'll check it at all, but
yeah, I'm. What if it really is like a hellscape? Like as soon as we log on, and we get like, oh no, I think the Nazis got to it.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Yes,
a lot of frogs in here.
Kiera, be a moderator with an iron fist, I think is what we're trying to say here. Best of luck to you. Do you ever get on Reddit at all? I've never really. I don't really understand it. Every time I click on something for Reddit, I'm immediately thrown off by just how it's structured.
Yeah, it's
the most old man.
The way
I feel.
that it used to be structured, I think there's been a slight change, but the way that we're structured when we were in college was
big yawn right in the middle of the words.
Was like really hard to read. I felt like the only people who enjoy that type of layout are people who can also code. Like,
yeah,
I just when I would see it in college, when I would even have a link of something that I clicked that took me to Reddit, I would immediately get upset. Like I just hated looking at even the layout of it. And not that it's changed a lot, but maybe it's because the camera quality and all this other stuff has changed with the internet in general, that I feel less annoyed by the look of it.
Okay, that makes sense. You see an email here that you want to read?
Yeah, we have an email here that the subject line is Hurricane Sandy saved me from a dating app scam, which is already, thank you for this. Thank you so much for this gift.
That's quite the setup.
Okay. Right. Are you ready?
And we can say it's from Maggie. We can say
I was gonna say that at the end.
Okay. Yeah. I usually say who they are at the time. Man, someday you'll understand how I do emails.
No, I understand how you do it. I just didn't know if I should do it the way you do it.
Yeah, I guess you don't have to, but go ahead.
So, are you ready? You all strapped in tight for what may very well be a true car accident of a story.
I don't know. I haven't read this one. This one did get selected purely because of the title.
Yeah, the fact that a hurricane saved you from anything means something bad was about to happen. All right. Hey, guys. I didn't find out about a secret family via a superstore, but I did catch a dating site scammer. I had just come back from being overseas for over a year. The guy I had been dating here and I weren't talking. Weren't taking off again, at least in my mind. So I thought, hey, I guess I could try one of these sites. I had exactly 4 responses before I ran screaming from it and have never ventured back. This might be long, but not as long and confusing as the toe fetish story, so hang in there. Anyway, the fact that there were 4 responses, that must have been 4 penises. It had to be. Like, it had to be just all penises. There's no way that you were like, hi, and someone was like, hi, and you were like, I'm out of here. Like,
well, it looks like all 4 are listed here. We got 4 numbers here.
Okay. Number 1, first guy, pictures of him in his military garb. I'm not a big fan of the military industrial complex, but thought, hey, let's chat. The story is that his family was killed in a car accident, blah, 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 which is already not
Maggie.
Great.
His family was killed in a car accident, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
That's such a grim response.
He was serving in Afghanistan. His story didn't ring true to me, and I left it alone. I'm not going to lie. You haven't given us enough information here for this person to outright look like a liar. Like, it sounds like 2 pretty bad things are happening to him. Like,
yeah. Now, I will say, if that was literally he sent one message and he opened with that, even true or not true, you should avoid that guy because he's going through something and you don't need to get wrapped up in his trauma.
Have you noticed that like bots still don't? This is like going to be the next level of bot, I can assure you. But somehow bots still don't trauma dump. Like bots are still very much like, hello, hey, you're in my local area.
Yeah.
Do you like to read? I also like reading.
Yes. Hello, sexy. What doing?
Yes,
It's
exactly.
like-
There's never a bot that's like, hey, how are you? Thanks for asking. I'm not great.
Yeah, like, hey, how are you? I'm trying out this dating thing. You know, I've just really had a rough year, and I'm trying to better myself.
Yeah.
Like that sounds like a man taking a swing.
That sounds like most people. Like,
Yeah.
imagine if a bot was like, oh, how are you? Nice to meet you. They're all dead. It's like, oh my God. Because bots wouldn't be good at it at first.
They're all dead.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I've got my eye on you bag. The blah blah blah. I mean, if I saw the message, then I'd probably I'm gonna say be on your side, because I'm sure that if you're telling me that two very plausible things happened to is lying, they must have told you an outlandish story.
That's like I'm hoping the message had a clear red flag to being a scam or a game, but
Yeah.
if not, blah blah blah. Goddamn.
Also, the fact that these are two things that do happen to people is like,
All right, let's move on. We got 3 more of these dudes.
I know, but wow. Second guy, another military one. Are you at a base? Like, did you set your parameters in the app for 2 miles? Okay, second guy, another military one. This guy is in Syria, which was kind of interesting because Syria hadn't gotten all public at the time. And I thought, hey, we chatted. That does say that. I'm not doing that. We chatted. His family was also killed in a car accident, possibly with the other guy's family. Not sure. I was skeptical because his writing didn't seem like what an English speaker would typically write. Certainly not an American English speaker. But then I thought, okay, our public school system sucks. So maybe, though he was a major or something. So again, I thought, we are still just texting via the app. So I ask him where he's from. He says LA. So I say, LA is a big place. Whereabouts? He says Avalon. Well, I'm from California. And if I were from Catalina Island, I would brag about it. So I told him this and said, I thought he made that up. I asked him to give me more places he knew in the LA area. He sent back an alphabetized list of cities in the LA area. I'm really seeing where the blah, blah, blah came from now.
Yeah.
Even my LA friends wouldn't recite cities alphabetically. Only the Rain Man could do this. I said, goodbye, you liar.
Goodbye, you liar.
Can you imagine going to like an actual speed dating meetup, and when you sit down, the first person is like, hi, I'm Bob, my entire family was killed in a car accident, and I am in the 157th. And then you're like, oh, okay, that's a lot to hand someone immediately. And then you switch seats, and the next guy's like, hi, I'm Chad, my entire family was killed in a car accident.
And then you're like, name all the cities you know.
Yeah. Just be like, where in Boston are you from? And it's like, oh, well, here's an itemized list of everything I've ever bought in Boston.
Goodbye, you liar.
All right. Number 3. This is where Hurricane Sandy enters the picture. This guy.
God, I forgot.
Yeah.
It's been a journey so far.
This guy is an architect living in New York, but is from Spain. So had that accent thing going in his favor, though sadly not French.
I think that's just saying their favorite accent is French, but yeah, someone from Spain living in New York, bringing in a French accent is kind of a wild move.
Oh god. Okay. Okay. Sadly, not French. Sandy is barreling down on New York, and I express my concern. He is fine. Power's still on. All is good. We talk multiple times over the days of Sandy. He tells me about his son and how they would like to visit me. Dad mentioned his wife died in a car accident.
This must be a common scam to lead with a fucking Batman backstory.
Okay. I say, well, where do you live in New York City? And he says, White Plains. I am clearly not a trusting soul because I'm asking him where exactly. He finally gives me an address and says he has a nice apartment downtown. He says at some point, well, now that you and I have met and you aren't going to use your membership to this shit dating site, can we give it to a friend for him to use? I say, not sure, as I'm Googling his apartment address, which is the White Plains Post Office. Okay. I tell him I doubt there are nice apartments in the post office. He says there are.
Well, you know what? Good recovery.
Yeah. If he had been smart, he would have said, oh, no, that's where I get my mail. But instead, he insisted he lived there.
Or at least say above. There's apartments like above the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that can happen, I think. But
And he circles back to the idea of me giving my account information to him for his friend. I say, sorry, see you, liar. Okay, number 4. As I am recovering from that, I notice someone has waved or winked at me on the app. I look, and it is my ex.
oh,
Now I am calling him my ex, but he didn't really know it yet. But he is on the app, too. Over and out. Membership canceled. Miss Maggie.
oh,
You know what this whole thing feels like?
what was that?
When you really need a ride home, right? Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
so you open Uber, and Uber is surging. It's like $50 for what you know is a $20 ride.
Oh, yeah.
Then you're like, okay, let me just check Lyft. But Lyft, you go to Lyft, and Lyft is $60. And so then you go back to Uber, and then Uber's like, well, we meet again.
Yeah.
It's $70 now.
And every driver that you get connected with in their bio, it just says, my family is dead.
And then you try to hail a cab, and the cabbie is like, hey, my meter broke, is $80. And then you're like, is there no way that I'm going to get home? And then you see your ex wave at you.
Parked across the street, winking.
Yeah. Wow. And then you're like, I don't think I'm ever going to get in a car again. I think I'm on my bike from here on out.
I think I'm done with cars. I think I'm out. Here's a short one. This is because I remember I can't remember if it was last week or a couple weeks ago, but about the the manager at work named Richard Balls.
Yeah.
So we got another response from the same person. I think we'd left the name off last time because they were talking about being high and talking about their manager. But this one just says, hey, just listen to the new episode where you talk about a person named Dick Balls. Well, I work at a hotel, and I had to check in a guest that was named Richard Balls. Richard shortens to Dick, so I had to hold back laughter while looking this man in the eyes and say, enjoy your stay, Mr. Balls. One of the funniest things in my entire life. Anyway, I'm quite stoned while writing this, but hope y'all have a good day. Which is very similar to the first email they sent. And that's why you can see here, I responded. I said, are you playing with us? Because the last Dick Balls email was from you. And then they sent back, this story is 100% serious, but I don't think I sent you the last Dick Balls story. But I'm pretty sure they did. Yeah, the other one. It's from the same email about Dick Balls. So here's what I'm enjoying about this scenario. One, just love to know there's several Mr. Balls out there. Also, this person has clearly gotten so incredibly high that maybe they forgot they've met their boss twice.
That's so funny. Yeah,
'Cause-
I think that is
'cause-
what's happening.
Because both those emails are from the same person and they're formatted like exactly the same way. They both end the exact same way.
That's so
and that's
funny.
why I responded, because I'm like, I don't want people emailing in thinking they can play with us. But like, and a part of it was also be like, you good? Did you? Is this a sorry about your brain king scenario?
That's so funny though. Like the fact that someone forgot is incredible.
That's great. Dude tells us about a different dick ball, and even says, I just heard about you guys talking about it. Yeah. We were talking about your email. Speaking of weed, here's another short one. This is from Melissa, and I just like this one because it says, hey guys, y'all sure Josh doesn't smoke weed? Because he just asked, do you think teeth talk to each other? Before proceeding to describe a teeth house party where Logan's extra teeth are unwelcome guests. Anyway, keep up the excellent work. Cheers, Melissa. P.S. In the time it took me to type that, Josh has begun describing the absolute atrocity of Logan's long-lost dead twin he ate emerging from his fucked up teeth and saying, I'm here too. So I don't know, guys. I think he's almost high as I am.
Look,
Yeah. Now imagine what Josh would be like if he did get high. This is him sober.
yeah, this is all me. Yeah, dude, like
That's
this is
all
like
me.
this is this is like, you know, like when someone's like, wow, are you on steroids? And it's like, nah, I'm on natty, baby. Like
Yeah. No,
this is my
just
natural
genetic
brains.
insanity.
Okay.
You're welcome for my brain,
Yeah.
kings.
I don't let nothing get in, right? Like nothing that's not already decided that is good stuff. None of that gets in there. I only let the good juices in. You know what I'm saying?
I feel that.
You know what I mean?
Do you see one here you want to read?
Okay, let's see. Oh, we haven't heard from Fat Rob in a while.
Here we go.
Okay, this is our old friend,
Yeah, Fat Rob. It's been a while.
Yeah. I had the privilege, nay, the honor, of visiting New York this week. I was honestly unsure how I would like it, but I absolutely fell in love with the energy of the city, the natural hum, truly like nothing I've ever experienced, the sheer magnitude of its breathtaking. I was there cooking at the Food and Wine Festival. Fortunately for me, I had plenty of time to do a little sightseeing. I'm a nervous flyer, but I had you guys in my ears the whole time, keeping me calm. I appreciate it, fellas. When I come back, definitely going to catch a show. Thanks again. Oh, thank you, Rob.
Yeah. I thought that was just a nice little email. Just like, hey, I went to New York. It was
Yeah,
nice.
That's cool.
And I'm going to counter that with an email here from Blobfish, who has emailed us before.
Okay.
And this one is titled "In Los Angeles for the First Time," and it starts with "Don't like it." This is a coast-to-coast review we're doing here. Live in Western Colorado, drove 8 hours to Vegas, spent the night, drove 5 hours to Angeles this morning, going to see La Brea Tar Pits, Moulin Rouge. Pretty excited. What's up?
You have to say the don't like it. Pause for humor.
Pause for humor. I was just taking the pause. But yeah. I like birds. I like birds, so I'm happy to see all the different birds. Spotted a mitterd or mitred, M-I-T-R-E-D, mitred. I'm not sure how to pronounce parakeet, which is uncommon. Might have been a red masked parakeet, which is rare, and a vagrant species, so they came here by accident, adding on to it. I like a little bird fact in there. But the city itself, too cramped. I live in a small town by comparison, so I don't like how cramped everything is. LA's never really felt cramped to me. If anything, LA's a little too spread out for my liking. Things could be closer together. That's Logan editorializing. Everything is crushed together, and the people are weird. They are insane, just running across the street during agreeing with 2 bags of half-eaten cucumbers. I like that this is being clearly judging the whole city based on one guy carrying cucumbers. Whoa, what'd you do?
I dropped something. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
God. Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
That's okay. Also, why is everything so hilly? Well, okay, this is kind of a little nitpicky about geography here. Again, Colorado, surrounded by mountains. I live in a valley, but just it is a hill. The roads are the roads are also giant, bigger than Denver, and just so overdone in every day they can imagine. Phoenix and Las Vegas really rely on U-turns to get places. Los Angeles require a full 10-lane crossing. That crossing is underneath another 10-lane street. By the way, we Uber around. They know the city. This is how it is. It's insane. I was gonna. Those complaints at the end there are just like, it's not the same as everywhere. Update. Saw Moulin Rouge. The audience was so rude. One lady was screaming, "Ow!" and "Yes, woo!" every time something remotely sexual happened in the most blood-curdling voice known to man. She did this the entire time. Really emotional moment, and the main character wipes his greasy hair. Woo! Thank you for that. Los Angeles review.
Look. What you need to understand, thank you for writing in, but what you need to understand is that's just somebody who's very lonely, all right? Who's truly in need of a touch.
Yes.
Because no one woos. Like,
this is sex for her.
this is very close to all the sex. Like, it's...
Seeing Moulin Rouge, yeah.
The idea that, like, even one of the dancers maybe just wiped his brow and like, ow!
Yes, sweat.
It really is like, that's so funny that, okay. I feel like we finally found one of the attributes of like a perverted auntie, because we all know like a perverted uncle. Perverted uncles out here making those like low noises, like, like
that sounded like Sling Blade.
Yeah, just a little bit of growl, and everything they say is like, oh, as you do it later. Like, yeah, just something that's really uncomfortable. Oh, yeah. And those aunties are out here also. Those aunties are out here.
Oh, for sure.
Ow!
Yeah. They are just happy to lay their eyes on a man.
Wow. You know those people who actually be reading the romance novel outside, like.
Yeah.
I mean, there was one time
reading their smut on the bus.
There was one time that I was on the bus in Chicago, and this woman this middle-aged woman was reading a romance novel, and I'm not even kidding. She was reading, and like nobody else was there, she touched her chest, like. Like she had the book out here, right?
Yeah.
But then she went, whew. like she rubbed the middle of her chest like she had Vicks Vapor Rub on it.
Oh, I love that.
And it's just, and then you see the cover, and the cover first of all, he couldn't be on more steroids, and I don't know what book this is. I'd have to find it because it's so funny. It's like basically he is, at least from the angle, because she had it down a little bit because she was reading it.
Oh, did it have like kind of a Fabio cover?
It had
kind
like
of
a
thing?
Fabio cover, but
okay.
The woman the woman is on the horse. This is like such a funny thing. The woman is on the horse, but the man, instead of riding the horse or her grabbing him and he's riding or whatever, he's like under the horse. So I couldn't tell if he was supposed to be
What?
lifting the horse or if he was getting trampled by the horse. Because I couldn't see the cover well because it was tilted down.
My husband was trampled by a horse, blah, blah, blah.
My husband was trampled by a horse, blah, blah, blah. Ow! Ow, ow!
Woo! Yeah. Squish him with them hooves. Ow!
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
Well, I think you had fun in Los Angeles. But also, sorry, I genuinely snorted there.
Oh, man. Okay. All right. So can you choose the one, it's fourth from the bottom, I fucked up?
I fucked up. There you go.
Okay. You already know the subject. I fucked up. Dear Toontown Squeaks, I've been listening to the show since the beginning and have always thought about sending in an email, but never knew what to say until now.
That does sound so so ominous.
I am a high school teacher and often listen to music or podcasts while I'm grading assignments. Well, I was listening to the Balls episode with headphones on. I'm not an animal. While grading tests in my classroom, when Josh said, "Sorry for your ball king," I completely lost it, and the few students I had in my classroom really wanted to know what I was laughing about. Since I would like to keep my job, I could not tell them the whole story, but I panicked and just simply said, "Something funny happened on the podcast I'm listening to." It didn't dawn on me until later that most of my students only know about the serial killer podcast that I listen to, as we use those as sources during our serial killer unit in psychology class. I now have a bunch of students who believe I was laughing to myself while listening to a podcast about actual murders. If kids weren't intimidated by me before, they certainly are now. Anyways, keep doing what you're doing. I'm a huge fan of the podcast, even though I may never listen to it at school again. I love all the Wild Josh stories, and Logan's laugh never fails to make me laugh as well. Best. And then, P.S., y'all definitely have a bromance going on. Don't lie to yourselves like that.
I try to tell him all the time. He just won't believe me.
Well, you know what? Thanks for writing in. Thanks so much.
That's
for listening
from
to the
Mia
show.
or Maya. It's
And-
MIA. I know it can be pronounced either way.
And we appreciate you.
Yeah. That's a new one, though, that like the laughing at work club, but thinking you're just a psychopath, like a genuine.
Yeah.
Like everyone gets crazy looks when they laugh at work, but everyone's looking at you being like, oh, man, the last podcast we knew they were listening to was like about Dahmer.
Yeah.
And they're over there cackling away.
And I don't know what's hilarious about Dahmer.
Oh, I like this one here. This is from, I believe it's from Malia, and the title is "Here's an Episode Idea." Hello, Josh and Logan. Josh, I commented on the Instagram where you wanted us to roast you, and I said you look like the brown M&M. I have found some things from my childhood in Texas that I think you might like. Beware, these annoyingly catchy jingles will be stuck in your DNA for the rest of your life. I'll read the rest of the email and then we'll get to that thing. Anyhow, love the show. My favorite episodes are Say Something Dummy and the episode about the creamer. I'm also an avid creamer drinker, but I water it down with milk. That's
Yeah.
the most insane shit I have ever heard.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Watering down. I watered down the
you
dairy with
gotta
some
cut it.
dairy.
You can't have it pure. You got to cut it.
You do.
Huh?
You drink it pure.
I wouldn't necessarily drink it. We don't know what that was. All right.
Yeah, we do.
No,
no.
remember
You don't
that.
get to try to retcon the show like you didn't.
Remember that.
creamer.
Remember that though. We never fully
Remember
figured
what?
out. We never fully figured out what
Yes,
exactly
you did.
it
Your
was.
roommate came in and said you guys are drinking creamer.
You just gonna take her word for it. You weren't even there when she
You
said.
took her word for it.
Look.
You told me.
Look, jury is still out. Okay.
Shut up. You're a fool. Shut up.
No, you're a fool.
You're a fucking fool.
You
Shut up.
are a fool,
Shut up.
and you
Shut up,
always
fool.
have been.
Shut up,
all
you
right?
fool.
You will be.
Anyhow,
a
hope you
fool
enjoy.
until
Shut
your
up, fool. Shut up, you
last
fool.
Day.
Fool, I am trying to read.
You are a
Shut the fuck up.
fool.
Shut up.
Fool.
Anyhow, hope you enjoy these jingles. Maybe you can react to them on the show or something like that. And I just like they go, bye! From Malia. I won't play all of them. I'm going to play one for you just because this takes me back to some stuff from like my childhood too. We didn't have this one. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it. I hope you will.
Okay, fool.
You're a fool.
You're a fool.
So I was excited about this because it made me think about. I have a lot of like jingles, like local jingles stuck in my head. Do you have any of those?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you want to tell me any?
No, none of them are good. And if I say them out loud, I'll just be thinking about them all day.
Oh, come on now. Come on. I'll sing you a couple of mine if you sing me one of yours.
You know what? They don't give good internet, though, so I don't even want to promote them. Nobody should know about them. Nah, let me see a different one. Because the internet one is like...
Like an actual like earworm?
Yeah, it's an actual earworm, but they're not a good company. They just paid someone to get themselves stuck in your head like a real parasite. Let me see. There's one that's... Let me see if I can find it real quick.
Oh, you're going to look for it?
I'm going to look for it because I want to make sure I'm doing it right, or else literally no one will. There's already probably only a few people from my hometown that listen to this show.
The ones I got in my head, I can sing for you right now without even needing reference because they are so ingrained in my head. There's Rochester Lapidary Jewelers. If you want to look good, grace, styles, and value. Jewelries, gems, and stones. We got everything you need at the Rochester Lapidary Jewelers.
Okay, let's see.
That was a real jazzy one. Soulful even.
Okay. Yeah, I can't find it. So the only thing I can actually give you is this one guy. There's no real like jingle to it. There's just some really catchy music playing in the background, and and then he's like, it kind of like sounds like that sort of Silk Sonic-y Bruno Mars type. So it's like, just imagine doom 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 doom.
Okay.
Doom 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 doom. And then he's like going with the beat, like doom 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 doom. And then he looks at the camera. He's like, "Have you been hurt?" And then they're still going doom 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 doom. He's like, "It wasn't your fault." Doom 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 doom.
So yours is kind of a slam poetry
Yeah, yeah.
ad, not so much a jingle, but
Yeah, I think he was trying to. It ended up being slam poetry because he couldn't sing and couldn't really stay with the beat. But it ended up being a little bit of an R&B attempt.
Okay, gotcha. We also had Universal Marine and RV was another one. And it was imagine yourself having fun and feeling free. Universal Marine and RV, and it was for boat. It was boat and camper rentals. But having fun and feeling free.
Wow.
Let's do this one here. Do you want to read this one, or do you want me to read it?
I might need you to read it just because it is so small on my computer. It's a little bit hard to read.
And you got shitty eyes. Because you won't get glasses because you're a fool.
No, you're a fool. All right, you are a foolish fool.
All right, this is from Daniel, and it is titled, "I accidentally competed in an Iron Man competition, plus stand-up advice." So,
It really runs the full spectrum of like human interaction.
yeah. Hey, Josh and Logan. I hope you all are doing well. My name is Daniel. You may remember me from my email entry in episode number 106, Gym Stepdad, where I told you all about my slightly humiliating experience puking at my local gym. Oh, I do remember that. I have another funny story of something that recently happened to me that I wanted to share with you. But first, I wanted to ask you for some advice regarding my new adventure in the world of stand-up comedy. I recently performed my first ever stand-up comedy set at a local club here in Chattanooga, Tennessee. It was a brief 5-minute set, and I not only had a great time, but I was given many compliments from some of the attendees that night. The organizer even caught me after the show and informed me that he could send me the dates and locations of some upcoming open mics if I was at all interested in potentially performing at them. I told him that I definitely was, and I'm currently waiting to hear back from him. All that being said, I wanted to ask you if you had any advice for me as a new comic. This is definitely just a small hobby for me, but I would love to continue to try my hand at it in the future if given the opportunity. Any advice on how you guys come up with material? How do you typically practice? Any and all help would be much appreciated. Maybe we'll give some advice first, and then we'll read the story here.
Yeah, I think that for the most part, just having fun is the best thing that you can do starting out. Like, I think that some people, it's exactly like going to the gym. I think some people like take it very seriously and get really into it and want to like get really far in their first like 2 visits, and then they end up burning out or like not getting the results they want in 2 weeks, and so it makes them want to give up. But if you're just like having fun and building community and meeting people that you think are funny and getting to watch people that you think are funny, and it's one of those things that gives you confidence and a source of joy, then I think sticking with it for now is the best thing you can be doing, because all those things that you could want will come later with more experience. So there's no real there's no real like long-term tip that I could give. I will say one piece of advice I give everybody if I don't see them do it is to, when you start, put the mic stand away from you. Like so many people starting out let the mic stand upstage them. Like they'll just take they'll take the mic out of the stand and then leave it in front of them, blocking them on stage.
Yeah, and a lot of people do that when they start.
Yeah, and I think that's the only thing that I tell people who are like almost brand new. Other than that, though, I don't think that there's anything that you can do except continue to enjoy yourself and like enjoy writing, enjoy learning how to perform better.
Yeah, I mean, you've already done the hardest thing, which is start. Like that's what keeps a lot of people from doing it at all, is literally just signing up that first time. Because we both met a lot of people who are just like, oh, I want to do stand-up. And I always say, okay, go do it then. And then they don't, because that's the hard part. So you got that. And I'm glad it went well. One of your next times is not going to go well. Within like those first like 5 times you do it, one of them hurts very badly. Whether it's your first one or it's like your third one. So just know that's going to happen. It's nothing you did wrong. It's part of the journey. It's part of learning it. So if you still like it, just shake that off and move forward. And then I think just, for writing, like for me, when I started out, when I was brand new, I literally just had a little notebook with me and I made myself just write down 3 thoughts a day. Mm-hmm. Even if they weren't funny, even if they never became anything, I just made myself write them down, which just got me better at not only just creating a collection of stuff, but also made me better at being choosy about what I wanted to talk about by just the nature of constantly writing down ideas. Mm-hmm. So it's not even like generating good material or good stories. It was just like, oh, I have a fleeting thought that maybe is a bit. I'm just going to write it down. And then I just would make sure I'd write down 3 a day. And that's how I generate material. How did you do it in the beginning when you started out?
I really would just like go off of experiences that I had, or like I try to like flush out an idea. So what I did when I started out, which, who knows if this was even a good idea, but I would have like one thing that I really wanted to talk about, and I try to pull as much as I could out of that one thing. And then, one thing at a 5-minute mic became 2 things, became like writing just a straight up joke, became having a set, but like I really stuck to, here's the thing that I think is funny, whether it's a story or a concept, and I'm just going to mine it as much as possible every time. And then, through the process of like elimination and just through realizing what people laughed at and what was just filler, you cut it down from there.
Yeah. But congrats on starting out and best of luck in your future sets. And now on to the story here. I also wanted to leave you with a funny story of something that recently happened to me. Over the weekend, there was an Ironman competition here in Chattanooga, Tennessee. On Sunday, I decided to go for a run in the afternoon as I had been inside for most of the day and wanted to get out for a bit. After running for a little over a mile, my route took me by the main road where the Ironman competitors were running. Once I reached the road, I was at this point, once I reached the road, I was at the point running side by side with the competitors and was headed for the famous Walnut Street Bridge here in Chattanooga. Little did I know, the Ironman competitors were also headed for that same bridge. Once I reached the beginning of the bridge, I realized that I had accidentally found myself competing in the Ironman race alongside people who, at this point, had been running for 13 plus miles. I was committed to it at this point and couldn't turn back. So there I was, running alongside the racers on the bridge. The whole time I am running across the bridge, crowds of people are cheering me on and giving me words of encouragement as they assumed I was an Ironman competitor, even though I was in fact not a registered competitor in the race. However, once I reached the other side of the bridge, I realized there was a large crowd of around 100 to 200 people waiting for all of the runners to cross the bridge cross the bridge with signs and bullhorns. I had to make a decision in this moment. Do I run with all of the competitors through the crowd and act like I was an actual Ironman competitor? Or do I run off course and away from the race altogether? I was really starting to feel like the person in the group that didn't contribute to the group project but still got an A+ on the assignment. So I decided to run around the crowd and off the race route. It just didn't feel right for me to run through the large crowd of people at the end of the bridge. But who knows, maybe if I did, I would have received some kind of participation trophy. I definitely felt like I was being showered with undeserved praise at that moment. But hey, I will take what I can get, I suppose. Anyway, I hope you all are doing well and didn't mind my longer than necessary emails. I'm loving the podcast. Keep up the great work. Take care, Daniel. Daniel, I will say I would have ran straight into that crowd and soaked up that adoration. That's what I would have done.
Yeah, you would have been. It would have been so funny if you had run through and then you were really like talking shit as you cross, like oh, you look.
You guys are winded. I'm still feeling great.
Y'all look a little dehydrated, if you ask me.
I was hoping, I knew it wasn't going to lead to this because it's too cartoony, but the idea of accidentally competing in an Ironman competition, I met up with them at the bridge, and then suddenly here I am on a bike.
Yeah, because this is the thing. If you're not supposed to be in it at all, because I told you about we did an episode about the marathon Stolen Valor, right?
Yes, we've talked about that. Yeah,
it's like if you manage to get in one of those things, they only have so many bikes and stuff for the people competing. So you
could steal someone's spot.
But I think even the other competitors at a certain point would be like, why doesn't that guy have a number on his chest?
Yeah. Or you're on the bike and then you're swimming and you're just exhausted. You're like, I don't want to be doing this. I didn't mean to do this.
Yeah.
Someone in an Ironman competition by duress, just like on a bike. Like I didn't want to. I have places to be.
I mean,
I can't
honestly,
do this right now.
When you start reading the story, I thought that he was going to compete out of pressure because the people in the beginning thought he was part of it, so then he just stayed in it.
No, Daniel sounds too nice. Here's the thing, Daniel, from this story, it sounds like you're polite and very sure of yourself. So you're like, I'll just get out of here. I'm not going to let the pressures of the race control me. So you sound mentally healthy, but I would have loved it if you were just like, yeah, then I ran in there and I got a medal.
I got a medal. I think some guy drowned.
We're at an hour. We could probably wrap it up.
Okay. Can you, let me see. There's one.
Did you want to do one more?
Maybe one more. All right. Well, this one is titled Strife, and it is from our friend Ben. Hello, Josh and Logan. Logan, how do you feel when Josh responds to your story with, "That's so funny," and immediately moves on to a new topic? Do you think he actually thinks what you said was funny? Also, I wanted to share a couple of stories from high school. Every day while driving.
Didn't even let me answer. Just moved right on.
Oh yeah.
That's how little he cares about what I think.
Do you think that you're being funny when I say that's funny?
I do know that's how you react to things that are funny,
Yeah.
but from the outside, just hearing into the podcast, it probably does sound like you don't care. But knowing you personally, I know that is how you react to something you genuinely find funny.
Yeah.
It's how a lot of comics. It's actually like if something is really, really funny to me, that I usually just go like, "Wow, that's really funny." Mm-hmm. Like I don't laugh. I kind of just appreciate how funny it is.
Do you? Yeah, I do the same thing. I will laugh. You know what happens? And I've realized this week.
What?
I laugh really hard the third time if I'm watching a clip. Like so like if I see a clip on Twitter or something, the first time I don't laugh at all. I'm just kind of like, oh, that's funny. And then there's a part of me that's like, let me watch it again. And then the second or third time is when I have the laugh that I should have had, that normal people would have the first time.
Yeah.
So the first time I see it, because so much of Twitter, even with clips, is like within a joke. So I'm thinking about the joke while I'm watching the video. So I'm not really enjoying the video. But then when I'm like getting the video again, then I'm like, okay, now I know what the punchline is, so I don't have to look for anything, and I can just enjoy it.
Because sometimes, like, I don't know if you mean it this way, but it's like sometimes I'm just trying to like reverse engineer like what they've done, like as a stand-up.
Yeah,
like,
I'm just trying to make sense of what
process of it.
they've done. Yeah.
Yeah, and especially if it's like really funny and unexpected, it makes me kind of go like, "Whoa, okay, how did they plant the seeds for that payoff?" And it's like I'm more putting the puzzle together as the process instead of just enjoying it.
Yeah,
sometimes.
which does end up being distracting from the joke and stuff.
So just know when Josh says that's so funny. I mean, sometimes he's probably not paying attention, but a lot of times it means he enjoys it. Hello?
Yeah.
Were you going to finish the email?
Yeah. I was waiting for you to be done.
I was done talking for so long, and you just stared ahead.
No, I was waiting just in case. All right, you're a fool. You're a fool. You're an actual fool.
That's so funny.
It's crazy. You would have done great in medieval England because you are a fool.
Finish the email, you goon.
You're a fool. Okay. Every day while driving to high school, I would eat an apple. While I was walking into the building, I would throw my apple core into another student's truck bed. I did this for at least 3 months. One day, he finally caught me and asked me what the fuck I was doing. I just shrugged my shoulders and kept walking. I'm still not sure why he didn't kick my ass.
Wow. Baller move.
My senior year of high school, I drove a blue Ford Windstar minivan to school. Another kid who was more popular than me had the exact same van. At the end of the year, the popular girls at the school would go out in the parking lot and write things on the windows of other seniors' cars. They mistook his van for my van, so I walked out of school to see "We love you, Eric" written on the windows of my van. My name is Ben. I drove the van around all summer with that on the window, and my friends constantly roasted me. I love the show, but people act like you guys won a Nobel Peace Prize when they comment the show during the mailbag section, so I'll just say, good job. Thanks, Ben.
That email is a real criticism sandwich.
Yeah, it's like, look, like Ben has the demeanor of somebody that's definitely trying to smash, because it's like, I love the show, but people act like y'all want a Nobel Peace Prize or something.
Yeah.
But good job.
Yeah. I like the show. You're not all that. Also, Josh has this weird reaction. No, I mean, Ben has the energy of a man who throws apple cores into someone's truck for 3 months.
And also doesn't know why he does.
Just does it. Ben is a man to be respected and feared. I'll say that.
Wow. Wow. That's incredible.
That's so funny.
That is funny. Thank you so much for listening to the Josh Johnson Show. I hope you had a great time listening. We had a great time recording. So if you were looking to catch up with us on any of the socials, you can find me at Josh Johnson Comedy on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. We're going to be posting clips of the show. And if you're looking for Logan,
You can follow me on Instagram at Logan M. Nielsen. And if you want to get into the mailbag, you can send us an email, joshjohnsonshow@gmail.com. We read them at the end of every episode, and sometimes we do these big, long ones. We also read reviews on Apple Podcasts. If you leave us a 5-star review and leave us you actually have to write a review. We can't see the 5-star just ratings, but if you leave us a 5-star review, we like to read those sometimes too, and it helps us on that platform. And if you want more of us, we got bonus stuff over on Patreon, patreon.com/Josh Johnson Show. We've got bonus shows we do there where we debate stuff, where I, prove how big of a fool Josh is.
you're a fool.
You're a fool.
Remember that.
You can also get full replays to live shows we've done. We just did our last virtual live show of 2022. It was very fun. I think this one was genuinely unhinged. So I'm very, I'm excited and concerned to see what happens in 2023 at the virtual live show, because it was a dark holiday episode. I will say that. And then we're gonna be on the road in January. Josh kicks off his freshman tour, is what he's calling it, and I'm on a couple of the shows at the start of the year. So all that stuff and all the links down below and all that jazz. Come see us.
Yeah, and have a great rest of the week, into the weekend, into the holiday.
Bye-bye.
Fool.
You're a fucking fool.
Fool.
You're a fool.
Fool. Let's see. Let me turn off the recording.
Stop
Fool.
recording right now. You big dumb fool.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. It really supports the channel. Hit the bell notification, because apparently it's the only way YouTube will tell you that something happened. And just tell a friend. That's the biggest thing you could do. Just tell one person in your life that you like, maybe you don't like, that this video happened to you.
We release the podcast every Thursday on all the podcast apps, so you should find us there and subscribe on those and comment and leave reviews and whatever on all of them. And also, if you want bonus stuff, you can join our Patreon, patreon.com/Josh Johnson Show. We have bonus podcasts and videos and stuff there, and we'd love to see you